Hello. I'm live and I'm early, so we're just going to hang out for a couple minutes. I have a guest speaker that is coming on, so that is exciting, but I'm not going to tell you who it is yet because I want them to have the opportunity to explain it. So hopefully everybody's doing well. Oh, look at that. It's working. We're adding, Heidi. Look at that. Fantastic. I'm getting so much better at this. Hello, Heidi Crawford. How are you?
Hey, I am great. How are you?
I'm going to turn my volume up maybe a little. Hopefully everybody can hear me okay. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you.
Perfect. Perfect. All right. Heidi is joining us from Aberdeen, and we are going to learn all sorts of cool things about her new coaching business, and everybody's going to be inspired. I'm excited for them to hear about what you do because it is super niche. But I am going to start off by introducing Heidi, and she's probably nervous because I didn't go get a bio. I'm just sharing what I know. And so Heidi and I have known each other for a while, and we'll get into that. But Heidi's history is that she worked in corporate America and banking. So when I share regulatory stories that I'm going through in my financial advisory side, she totally gets it, right? She's done the whole regulatory business thing. And then she ended up building a home-based business, which was amazing. And I will say, she built an empire. She helped a ton of people launch their own home-based businesses, helped a ton of people just feel more confident in who they are every day. She works for one of the #1 leading largest companies in the United States. I won't share it, but you guys will figure it out because it's big. Everybody has it, knows it. And so she did that for a long time. And then, Heidi didn't just sit back and say, like, I got it good. Things are going well. She said, what else can I do? How else can I help? How can I take the skills that I've learned through this experience and of having a home-based business and help other people do that and just step into their confidence? And so it's been an absolute journey. It was so fantastic to have you join my coaching program this last go around, and look forward to hearing more about it. So let's start off. Do you want to add anything to that?
I just feel like I should have recorded that so I can listen to it every day when I'm feeling a little bit flat. And I'm like, okay, let me get the good stuff.
I've done something. I've got this. I get it. Yeah. So tell me, like, share with the group, like, how we met. Take a trip down memory lane. How did we meet? Like, I always love that because I know people for a while. It's like, when was the first time we really met?
Yeah, so I met you through a mutual friend via my other home-based business, and remember meeting you there, and we connected, and then Facebook, a social media, of course, because we are not local to each other. So and just stay connected through that medium, which so many of us do, and had reached out through DMs over the years to keep in touch and continue to see each other. See each other. I feel like that we see each other virtually more than in person. And then I would say it was late last fall or in summer, I just started noticing you were showing up on social media a little different. And I had watched you, like you had done some trainings and some things, and I mean, I didn't know how that was related to your business and what you're doing. But then really last fall, I was like, she's doing something different. And so I just watched with like curiosity, like what she's doing. Cause I look at things differently than probably the most people social media scrolling anyway. And then I was like, now I'm curious, something's different. And I remember DMing you and going, you're showing up differently. I want to know. And then you said,
what are you doing now?
Yeah. Then you're like, here, let's book here, pick a time, let's get together and we can talk about it. And that's really what, we just, it kind of one of those quiet people in the background watching you evolve and do things differently, and went, I need to know more. Something's changing, and I want to know more about this because this seems different.
Awesome. No, I was excited when you reached out, and I do remember it. So that's super cool. So give us an inside scoop about your coaching program, how you help people, what you do. Yeah. Okay. It's called I didn't tell them what it's called. It's called you're called an Authentic Edge Strategist, right?
Yes.
So that is awesome. Authentic Edge Strategist. And tell us what you do.
So I help elevate high achieving women beyond their plateau by creating an authentic edge. Think bold communication, think confident
Yeah.
first impressions, branding yourself, not representing a brand, because we work too hard to blend in.
Mm-hmm.
And so people connect with you or with me, who we are as individually, and that's the relationship that they're going to remember
Yep.
versus maybe the brand or the company that you work with. And we all know corporate America can be really finicky. And so when they decide time's up, time's up.
Yeah.
But the people who work with you do it because of who you are. And so we want to be thinking about who we are and how we're branding ourselves beyond that corporate association.
Yeah, that's amazing. So it can be like entrepreneurs, it could be somebody in corporate America. I totally,
Yes.
totally.
And yeah, one of my clients who surprised me the most has not a phenomenal job in corporate America, but she's got a 5 to 7 year plan to leave corporate America. So we together are putting the the bricks and mortar in place. So when she transitions, she's ready and she's not, oh, you're with so and so. And I'm wildly excited about what she
Yeah,
has planned. So
that's
yeah,
yeah, and I suppose people could be branding themselves if they know they're looking to level up into a different career with a different company, or if they want to promote, or they could be branding themselves if they're stepping out and taking their skills and turning them into a coaching business, right? Like
right,
it could be all right. Yeah.
right.
Yeah, awesome.
Exactly.
And branding yourself, that's so perfect. Like I hadn't even really thought of it that way, but it's absolutely true. And when I was in corporate, I sure didn't brand myself, right? Like oh, but it's a big deal. And it's particularly big now because whenever anybody hires anybody, the first thing they do is grab their social media, right?
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
that. So super cool. Awesome. All right. Um, tell us about how you got started in that. Like what is that when you knew, oh, I want to become a coach, like I'm ready to step out and do a little something different from what I've been doing? Like what was that aha
Yeah.
moment? Something?
So I've been calling this part of my journey the encore.
Okay.
And because I still run a successful business on the which I love, but it was while I was running that business, I realized that so many of the women that I worked with, and even those outside of my team,
Yeah.
share a common struggle, and their true potential wasn't really reflected in who they are.
Yep.
And when they showed up, they were wrapped up with the company they represented, like we talked about. And so, whether it's your personal life or your professional life, there's a gap between who they were and
Yeah.
how they were being seen. And so, that realization planted a seed in me. And I found that while we sometimes can be from similar industries, we need to brand ourselves and how we can stand out. And my passion has evolved into I realized I want to help women bridge that gap
Yeah.
and helping them step into their authentic edge and just command that presence,
Yeah.
that like how they step into a room and just respect open doors. And that's when I was like, oh yes, I can do this. I want to share this with the world. This is fun.
Yep.
Like I think I heard you say, what would you do for free forever?
Yeah.
And that's when you know you're like, aha, that's like
Yeah.
yeah, so that's what
Uh,
I do. Today I get to work with helping women elevate their image and
yeah.
confidence and
Yeah.
influence.
I think it's so awesome you point out like it's not an all or nothing. Like don't leave don't leave your day
Yeah.
job.
Yeah.
Don't do it. Like, but we can build this on the side, step into it. It takes the pressure off of it, makes it super fun. I mean, I still have my firm, and definitely spend time doing that. And then I do coaching. And so, yeah, it's a good add on.
Mhm.
And, and I see people even, maybe eventually you pivot completely and maybe you don't. That's just up to everybody in their journey. But that's a really good point. Like it's just something on the side.
And
Yeah.
I think if we look at a lot of successful entrepreneurs, they get a revenue stream from more than one
Yeah.
source. And that's
Yeah.
smart because it- every
Yep.
industry has slow and fast times. So why not just find some fun things you
Yep.
enjoy that give you excitement and joy in different seasons?
Yeah, for sure. And it taps into our knowledge, right? Like, and so it's like what we know and we can share it. So it's not going and buying a bunch of stuff. It's none of that. It's just tapping into the knowledge. So
Absolutely.
fantastic. All right. Um, let's see. So we were together in the coaching program.
Mhm.
for the last, I don't, we started like, it all started like in November. So it's been a while, but
Yeah.
you know, that first free master class, and it started from there, and we went through the holidays. And so, it was exciting. I loved it. You went all in, and the people go all in, like you don't miss a thing, right?
Right.
Those are the ones that have amazing, amazing success. So, tell me a little bit about like just that coaching program, what it was like for you, maybe some aha moments or wins you had along the way. Like, just tell people a little bit about the coaching itself and what that did for you.
Um, I think when I think back on the coaching, one, it made me
Yeah.
accountable. And
Yeah.
and I think when I think about that, we don't know what we don't know.
Yep.
And working with you, you saw some blind spots that gave me the tools that you I guess how you believed in me before I believed in myself. I'm like, I don't know what I got. I'm not really sure. Maybe it's nothing, but if I don't try, I'm going to kick myself. So I'm going all in and I'm going to do this. And if it doesn't work, I'm going to sunset this and I'm just going to do what I've always been doing.
Yeah.
And so showing up to accountability, and somebody who believes in you is really what I found helpful
Awesome.
in coaching.
Yeah.
And um and I don't know, I just think about that and went, I can do this, but I still sometimes pinch myself and go, am I really doing this? You
And you
know,
are.
yes.
You've got.
Yes, and I think the other thing too is sometimes we can scroll all day and think about ideas and what
Mm-hmm.
we're going to do, but it's just the
Yeah.
accountability and like, okay, I've got to do this. I've got to step into
Yeah.
this and start the doing.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Awesome. Fantastic. Yeah. And it's true. Like I absolutely can see the business in people, right? Like I'm like, oh yeah, I totally see you doing this, right? Like, so it's just good to have that group together. So a system and also just supporting each other. And it's, part of it, most of ours was group,
Mhm.
right? We did a lot of coaching. My new program's going to have a little group, a little one-on-one, just depending on what people need. What are your thoughts on that? Like, what do you do in your program, and what do you think about group? And this wasn't on the list. I'm totally going wrong.
It's okay.
Group versus
So
one-on-one.
so in the group, I was like, how is this going to work when I was in your group? And I was like, but I loved it because we were from different industries.
Yeah.
So there was no thief of comparison. Nobody was trying to do what I was doing.
Right.
And honestly, if they would have, they're a different person.
Right.
So their things that they know and learn will be done totally
Yeah.
different. So I loved that honest feedback from what I was trying to create.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and truly constructive criticism. I never worried about like, oh my gosh, that hurt
Yeah.
my feelings. We were all there. We went in with a heart to
Yeah.
give and be supportive. So I love that side of it. But yet at the same time, if I needed something individual, I'm like, hey, I am hung up on this.
Right.
You were available. You weren't like, no, 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 Wednesdays, you gotta wait. I could reach out to you.
Yeah.
We could have that sidebar. And honestly, if it was something I was struggling with, I it was most likely you're like somebody else is probably struggling with
Yep.
this too.
Oh yeah.
And then we brought it back to the group as a learning point. Um, and so what I learned from mine in my coaching is that I offer the same. I offer group because we learn so much from each other.
Yeah.
And why not have a group of cheerleaders just cheering you on constantly? And but yet sometimes we need to step out of the group and work on something like, hey, this I'm hung up on this, can you help me? And I don't want somebody to wait a week
Right.
stewing over something. Like, let's solve it and move on. Like,
Yeah.
forward messy progress, let's keep moving, let's
Yeah.
not stop.
Forward messy progress. Isn't that the truth? When it's something new, like there's just some messiness to it, and we had that, and you just get through it and keep going.
Hmm.
And I think a group is beautiful because not one person has all the answers, right? And we
Right.
all have perspectives, and so it's nice to be able to run that by people. So, yeah. So, had you had coaches before, and tell people like just how you've used coaches in the past, and would you recommend it?
Yeah.
What's your thought?
um Simply put, just do it.
Yeah.
But yes, I have had coaches in the past, and I think about that, and as I was thinking about the other coaches I've worked with and stuff like that, one of the things that resonated with me is that if I could get where I wanted to go on my own, I would have already done it by now. So if
Yep.
you are somebody out there going, should I not? If you aren't where you are want to be, you probably need a coach. And like, athletes have
Yep.
coaches. CEOs have coaches. A lot of successful entrepreneurs have coaches because not because they're weak or can't do it, but like that accountability factor is huge.
Yeah.
And most of us that get coaches is because we want to get somewhere faster and
Yep.
with more clarity and confidence. And so
Yep.
when I looked at a coach in my journey, whether the ones I've had before and for you,
Mhm.
I was looking at somebody that was further down the path. I wanted to be where they were already
Yeah.
at. And so how can I get there and how can I do it faster? Not that I'm not going to learn. You didn't do the work for me. I had to do it myself. But that's why we have
Yep.
coaches and we want their knowledge and experience so we can get there and be successful too. And I don't take hiring a coach or paying for a course lightly. I put a lot of thought into that because that comes out of my bottom line.
Yep.
And so I want to make sure that it's a right fit for me, personality wise, time commitment wise. And I'm not everybody's coach, as are you, and that's okay.
Yep.
And so it's okay to get to know somebody and find out if you're a good fit because all of us want success. And if I'm not a fit for you or if you're not a fit for me, we probably know somebody
Yeah.
who we could refer you to. And I think that's the greatest compliment that you can give ever is referrals. And
Yep.
I think that's so true. So whether it's a new skill, whether it's a weird app out there that you never heard of, or it's, learning the words or how to put together my pillars, like you talk about our pillars
Yep.
and our pain points. I mean, those are things I didn't know about, but I learned from you. And
Yeah.
so and then I also feel like you were so good about, like, I think how do you say, borrow my
Yep.
belief until
Yeah.
you believe in yourself, for all of us, because
Great.
yeah, we can be a little gun shy.
Yeah.
I mean, we're our own worst critics, right? So
Yeah. I always tell people, I'll tell you if I think it's a good business idea or not, right? We do the thumbs up and thumbs down pretty early. Like we probably almost forgot that part because it was a while ago that we did that. But yeah,
and
absolutely. If
I
I can see.
think not to get distracted, because I at some point though, I'm going to go back through my early
Yeah.
notes and look at like what I thought was
Oh,
my best idea and
oh
what
yeah.
I'll probably go, what?
Would have never put
but but I'm not looking now.
it.
I'm not going to look at those notes now.
Yeah. So really dive into your program. Like if somebody signs up to work with you, like what does that look like? Who is it? Like what if someone's sitting here thinking maybe I need Heidi, like tell us everything we need to kind of know.
Okay. So the what I help you do is um how do like think about, like, we really have 3 to 8 seconds to make a
Yep.
strong first
Yep.
impression, and most of
Yep.
us are on social media and we are scrolling to be entertained, so it's a small window. And so we really need to have a strong, what I call a digital
Yep.
handshake. So when
Good.
you're looking at, like, when somebody's looking at your profile, whether it's your picture, your tagline, what you do, that needs to be clear and present. And I want to help you do that and have that message consistent through all forms of media, social media, as well as emails. And I dare say some of us are going to show up in person, and you're going to need that. And I still love being in
Yep.
person too. And I know you do too. You
Yep.
still do in-person
Yep.
events. And I want to help women feel confident, um, and show up ready to do the
Yep.
work. And it can be on different levels of where they're at in their business as well.
Yeah.
But you've probably already, like as we already mentioned, just you might have hit a plateau and wondering why you're not showing up in
Yeah.
a room, digital or in person, and getting that commanding respect. And we can work on those, and we can do that in my 5-week course. So
Yeah.
yeah, so I have the 5-week course. I also have a preview that you can get your
Yep.
toe wet, see what it's about, find out if it's for you first and foremost. So
Fantastic.
that's who I'm working with. Did that answer your question? I
Yeah.
sometimes I feel like I start one way and go
The
another.
whole digital handshake thing, like that just pulled it together for me.
Okay.
I'm like, that there. That's fantastic. So great. And so Heidi will go on and put her links in the chat so that people can get those as soon as this is posted. And um anything else you want to share, Heidi? And then I'm going to tell them a little bit just about how to tap into the experience you went through with me. So anything else you want to share?
I think that when you think about your habits that you're
Yeah.
creating today, and I found in
Mm,
myself that creating the habits are so important to your business, and the tools, the things you do
Yeah.
daily. And I have a free newsletter, and I talked about this in my last newsletter about um, uh, sometimes I consider I'm kind of boring because I do the same thing all the time. But those habits are what sustain us. And as an
Right.
entrepreneur or a business owner who wants more, does more, and life happens,
Right.
and trust me, it will, but you will not rise to the occasion of your habits. You will sink to your lowest level of your
Yeah.
systems and your habits. And that is what's going to sustain you. And what kept my business going when my family needed me, as all of our families will at some point. And
Yeah.
so, and having those in, whether they learn those from your coach, from yourself, from your habits, those are things you and I think are really similar
Yeah.
minded on, and like this, these are
Right.
things that we need to do. And if you love where you're at right now, don't change a thing. But if you have this burning desire,
Yeah.
and that's kind of how I remember our first conversation. I came to you and was saying, I don't know what it is, but I've had this burning desire that I am called to do more. And I
Yeah.
don't even know what it is, but why not take a chance on
Right.
me? And, and you were like, yes, we can figure this out, Heidi. And that was just like kind of a dream in my heart. But that's what it's all about, right?
Yeah.
Find something you love and help somebody figure that out. And you
Right.
helped me do that. So
Yeah.
it was super cool.
Fantastic. And I remember one of the first times one of our first group calls, you mentioned the habit thing. And I thought that is genius. Like that is so true. Like we fall to our habits. And as I'm sitting here kind of reflecting on that, I've been thinking about just even like revenue making activity. Because yesterday in one of our calls, you said like, I got to do things that make money, right? And as businesses, we need to make money and we just need to know that. And in our group of professional women, we have real talks about that stuff, right? And so,
Yeah.
and it's the thing I see is people don't have like money making activity habits, right? And so then all of a sudden they stop and the business just is bad because it wasn't a habit to reach out to people you can help every day or whatever it happens to be, or it can be how we look or what we eat, right? It
Right.
can be anything habit, but all of those. Yeah, I love that. I think that that's really, really important. And if nothing else, if people don't learn anything, they walk away from that, that's kind of life changing. Like if
Yes.
and you're not where you want to be, you fall into your habit and you just need to raise your habit up. That's huge. So now when's your next class for people?
Friday, March 7th is my next
Ooh, good.
preview. Yes. And so I can drop the link in for anybody
Sure.
who wants to sign up for the preview at 9 a.m. Central Time.
Fantastic.
And if that doesn't work, I've got some other options, but that's the next free
Yep.
preview we can talk about to get
Free.
ready for the.
So they're investing time, right? They're
Yes.
investing time to learn. And we talk about investing in ourselves and whether that's money or time. So that's fantastic. So mine is Wednesday. So what started all of this, the masterclass that started all this for Heidi was the same thing. It's the same thing we're doing now. I go through those exact pillars and exactly what she used to build her business. And so I think people should sign up for both of them because I think it would be an
Yes.
awesome double. You can kind of come check out what some coaching stuff and building the business with me, and then you can go to Heidi and learn how to step it up and really get that authentic edge to you, who you are, bringing out more of who you are. It's a really good combo. So fantastic! It's going to be a
Absolutely.
good week next week for
I know,
people.
and I have to say, there's a part of me who wants to sign up just to take your free class again. I mean, I'm like this club. I'm like, what am I doing? What? Because it's so good. I mean, and you can't absorb
Yeah,
everything at one time. So part of me is like, it's good
you're
to go
welcome.
back and refresher.
Yeah,
And it's
awesome.
I as we pour into
Yeah,
ourselves and continually learn. I love the analogy, like a checkup from the neck up, because these 12
yeah,
inches are so
yeah,
valuable to us. And it's kind of like we go to the dentist. We go just to make sure everything's on track. We say, oh yeah, I should start flossing a little better. So only way more fun.
great.
Like just check in and make
Way
sure
more.
you're doing the things.
Yeah, for sure. Awesome. Sounds great. Well, thank you, Heidi,
Yes,
so much. So exciting to have you here. I'm going to be on yours next Monday, I
yes,
think. So good, and they can learn more about your workshop and what's coming up and how you help people. So fantastic.
absolutely. All right.
All right, have an amazing day.
Thanks, you
All
too.
right.
Bye-bye.